From Damian Lillard's beef with the Portland Trail Blazers to the chaotic NBA Las Vegas Summer League, here's the silliest season in the history of NBA silly seasons. With the offseason in full swing, players are begging for new contracts and teams are desperate for last-minute trades. All the while, basketball fans are doing just fine with all the drama that's been going down behind the scenes. And Damian Lillard's beef with the Portland Trail Blazers is as dramatic as it gets. The superstar point guard of the Blazers dropped a trade bombshell when he demanded to be sent to none other than the Miami Heat. Now, while he's made his plans clear, the team isn't going to let him go that easy. Negotiations have been going on between Miami and Portland for weeks, but with both sides trying to make it out with more, it's become a frustrating situation for the 33-year-old player. To make matters worse, Lillard doesn't have a no-trade clause, meaning he can't veto any trade offer that the Blazers receive. So, there is a possibility that he could end up somewhere else. Now, you already know the rumor mill is going crazy with assumptions, but the most mind-blowing idea to come forward is his trade to the Toronto Raptors. I'd suggest grabbing some popcorn because this might just be the ultimate underdog story. Apparently, the Raptors are putting together an offer that includes promising young talent Scottie Barnes, sharpshooter Gary Trent Jr., the versatile Chris Boucher, veteran Thaddeus Young, and a couple of future draft picks. That's a massive haul for the Blazers, who are in rebuilding mode and looking for the best deal on the table. Now, some of you might be wondering why the Raptors would give up Barnes, a young player with unlimited potential, for the older Lillard. Well, it's not called a silly season for anything. 2023 is all about surprising fans by making bold moves, and Chris Paul's trade to the Warriors shocked the NBA community. And him. It's been a wild season, and one of the craziest things that happened was Paul's double trade. First, he was shipped from Phoenix to Washington in a deal that sent Bradley Beal to the Suns. But Paul's journey continued, and he ended up in Golden State after a trade that involved Jordan Poole heading to the Wizards. Talk about a roller coaster ride for CP3. Now, fans can't get over the massive gamble they've just taken, and the Warriors are crossing their fingers that this move will pay off big time. I mean, sure, we all know that Paul can still ball at 38 years old, but the real kicker is the amount of history he has with the team. He's faced some tough losses, like in 2019 when the Warriors dashed his team's title hopes in the playoffs. So there's some serious rivalry going on off-court, and all eyes will be on one man when Chris finally puts on the jersey, Steph Curry. The star went on record to say that business in the NBA is crazy like that, because if they'd asked the team just 6 months ago about Paul, they'd have a completely different opinion on the situation. But he did admit that the Warriors are determined to make it work. So, with things heating up on the court and Curry spending time on the bench, you'd think he'd be working on his basketball skills. Instead, fans are getting content of him dominating the golf course. Yep, Steph's spending the offseason on the greens. In July, he took on the American Century Championship, a charity golf tournament with a mix of celebrities and retired elite athletes. And let me tell you, Curry wasn't just there for fun, he meant business. You might think of it as this lighthearted event, but it was filled with retired athletes who take their golf game seriously. Yeah, you can imagine their embarrassment when they lost to a part-time golfer like Curry. The basketball star showed off his incredible golf skills and left his competitor's jaw on the floor. From his perfect swing to his impressive putting, Curry showed the world that he's a baller through and through. The golf prodigy had fans worried he was considering hanging up his basketball shoes and trading them for golf cleats. The rumors got so bad that Brandon Payne, his longtime basketball trainer, was forced to step in as he assured fans that Curry's focus is still on the NBA. After his spectacular golf performance, Chef Curry is planning to get back on the court soon to continue his basketball journey. Almost had us panicking there for a second. But to be fair, why wouldn't he return to the scene? In 2022, he elevated his game even further, especially when it comes to three-point shooting. Even though the Warriors faced some challenges, his aim from beyond the arc reached new heights. But as it turns out, he isn't the only NBA star playing the field, and the Pelicans' Zion Williamson is making sure to keep fans entertained in 2023. In early June, the rising star of the New Orleans Pelicans announced that he's expecting his first baby with his girlfriend, Akima. They even did a YouTube gender reveal, announcing that they were expecting a girl. While fans were quick to congratulate the 23-year-old, things took a dramatic turn when model Mariah Mills claimed she was also in a relationship with Zion. Uh-oh, and as you can imagine, social media went crazy. Mills faced intense backlash and the spotlight was on Zion, especially considering the horrible season he had in 2022. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith questioned if Zion's focus was on getting healthy at all, suggesting that his personal life might be affecting his game. And let's just say that started up a whole other conversation as all attention turned to New Orleans and whether they'd keep the young player on their roster. According to industry insiders, there were talks about the Pelicans trading up during the NBA draft. Reports suggested they were eyeing G League star Scoot Henderson and considered offering Zion in a trade package. Crazy, right? But hold your horses. Pelicans executive vice president David Griffin cleared the air and said the relationship with Zion is stronger than ever. I did not have a gender reveal drama on my bingo card for 2023, but that's the wonderful thing about the NBA. It takes fans on a roller coaster ride of emotions every year. And the one team that's playing with everyone's emotions is Orlando Magic. Remember how I was talking about this year being the perfect time for bold moves? Yeah, well, Orlando is leading the game there as they make headlines left, right, and center. They're drafting players who fit their new vision for the team, and fans are a little worried. After all, the team pulled the biggest twist yet when they selected Anthony Black as the 6th overall pick in the NBA draft. Sure, this guy's got skills and ferocity. As an ace defender, he's not afraid to get after players and guard anyone on the perimeter with his size and athleticism. But the defensive powerhouse doesn't impress anyone with his stats. In fact, there were much better players available on draft night with scoring potential, something the team desperately needs. But Orlando entered the room that night hoping to get a team player who was willing to do whatever it takes to win. But while fans could overlook his lack of points, they couldn't figure out why the team also picked up Jet Howard. The 11th pick in the draft had a below-average season as he played through ankle injuries. And while I respect that he pushed through like a true warrior, it does make you wonder what Magic has in mind for the 2023 to 2024 season. I mean, they've made their fair share of mistakes when it comes to draft picks, and there's a high chance this year might be the exact same story. When I say the NBA Las Vegas Summer League was chaotic, I meant it, because Orlando Magic isn't the only team that has fans worried about their future. Just 4 games into the tournament and the Charlotte Hornets are already looking like one of the worst teams in the Summer League. They've only managed to win their final game. And while records don't really matter in July, the most disappointing player of them all turned out to be the number 2 pick overall, Brandon Miller. Yep, the same player fans thought would give trouble to some of the league's best is struggling big time. Miller had some strong periods, but in his 3 games, all of which the Hornets lost, he only shot 35.4% overall and 26.1% from outside the arc. Plus, he also had issues with fouls, making fans worried whether the Hornets will bounce back from this. And while it may be too early to pass this judgment, 2023 might just have a major draft bust on their hands already. So there you have it. From the chaotic NBA Las Vegas Summer League to Damian Lillard's beef with the Portland Trail Blazers, that was the silliest season in the history of NBA silly seasons.